Rob Balukas said he focused on 3 things in 2015: triathlons, running his web design and marketing business, and walking Chloe, his dog. With a "less is more" approach, Balukas was ready to take things to a whole new level. It was going to be a breakthrough year, he said. Life changed on Labor Day that year. While training for a half Ironman event, Balukas lost control of his bicycle and toppled over the side of a hill. Initially, he thought he'd suffered a collarbone break in the fall. He'd recover in a month or so, he believed. But a deeper look by doctors revealed an L1 burst fracture in his lumbar spine. Balukas was now a T8 complete Asia score, a paraplegic, losing all control and feeling in his legs. The world changed, said the 42-year-old Pepperdine grad who now resides in West Hills with his girlfriend. Unable to walk after his accident, Balukas, who resided in San Francisco at the time, was forced to use a wheelchair. He moved into his parents' house in Fresno, focusing on occupational and geriatric therapy. I found myself commiserating with others through the geriatric therapy, Balukas said, chuckling. Going to the grocery store, or just the movies, with my therapist became routine. But each trip came with its challenges now that I was in a wheelchair. Balukas said learning to drive with his hands only, a process he said was expedited by his stepmother, helped him recapture much of his freedom. Despite what was going on, I felt her hinting at me, beginning to look for an apartment, starting to drive and be more independent, he said. At the time, it seemed insensitive, but in hindsight she was definitely trying to help me. I'm thankful for that push. Now training as a para-athlete, Balukas promised himself that he'd be returned to triathlons, which generally include long-distance running, swimming and cycling, within a kept that promise, competing in his first triathlon in August 2016. By the 1-year mark of my accident I'd done 3 triathlons, Balukas said, competing in Oakland, Santa Cruz and Malibu. But it wasn't without the help of friends and family. Balukas needed adaptive equipment to compete, including a hand-cranked bike for cycling and a racing wheelchair, for the distance running portion of the competition. A crowdfunding page helped Balukas pay for the gear. I've always pushed myself, he said. I like to see what my limits are. I've gotten up to 43 miles per hour on the arm bike, that's fast. Balukas is currently participating in the Angel City Virtual Games presented by Hartford, an event committed to a summer of sports, special events, and community building for adaptive athletes with physical disabilities. The event is usually held on the campus of UCLA, at such facilities as Poly Pavilion and Drake Stadium. But amid the pandemic, the festival has gone virtual. Instead of a few days, the event's various competitions, activities and workshops will last through the end of August.